Hello, everyone, and welcome to my special New Year's stream. I hope everything is fine technically. You can see me and you can hear me. Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and welcome to my special tour, The Bright Side of 2024. What made me do this tour? What made me start with it? World. Oh my God, I can hear myself. Mhm. All right. So thank you very much. Everything is fine now. So, what made me do this tour? In the world that we live in, there's a lot of challenges, specifically for someone lives in the country where I live, and it's quite easy to start blaming the world, to start thinking about injustice and how things are so difficult and unfair. And if we want to see apples, we will see apples. But today, I will suggest to you to see oranges. I don't know if you can get this metaphor, but sometimes in life, when we keep thinking about a specific thing, uh, we will be able to see it everywhere. And unfortunately, the world we live in, media, not only in Russia, but everywhere else in the world, keeps focusing on the negative side. And once you see the highlights of the year, the same thing I did last year, it's generally about wars, car crashes, and everything, because this definitely attracts more attract attention than someone seen in the world. So this year, today, I decided to come up with some things that can inspire all of us to see the world differently. So let's start. And the first thing I want to talk about is a breakthrough in the fight of cancer. Today, we will talk about medicine, education, humanitarian aid, because there's actually a lot to see. And I will also mention the bright side for Russia or for Russians. So, the first thing is the achievement in the victory against uh, colorectal cancer. Sorry for there are many mistakes with my pronunciation. It was a last minute tour, but in any case, um, they were clinical trials, and every single patient was cured without the need of extra therapy or surgery. This is definitely a huge achievement, and I think the end game for all of us, things that we want in this life, is just to live longer and to be happy. So this breakthrough, this achievement definitely offers hope to millions of people around the world. Once you know that this type of cancer, any type of cancer, can be treated, uh, I believe it's just amazing. So the new drug shows 100% effectiveness in treating this form of cancer. Uh, I believe it's just good not only for the US if it was treated for the US, but at the end of the day, this is a great thing for humanity. When you start searching, by the way, for some good things that happened this year, last year, it's quite challenging, to be honest. I don't know if you've ever tried to search for good news, and please share with me your experience. Do you often read good news? What do you generally see in the news in your country? What things do you follow? Because for me, every time I start like reading news, is just the world. It seems like the world went crazy, and every time I try to get a list of good news, it's more about someone rescuing a dog or a cat, which is an amazing thing, but it doesn't seem that big, that huge, and that expressive for humans as, some just big words and things like it doesn't attract attention that much. This is how things work. Um, and with this tour, with this virtual tour, I'm just trying to show that there are many achievements for all of us in general, like cancer treatment. The second thing is more about a specific story. This is about the So Much to Give cafe with disabled workers. This is just, a story of one cafe, but I actually believe this is another breakthrough for the world. It was opened in the United States in Pennsylvania by Maureen Stanko. Uh, her son inspired her to open this kind of cafe because of his disabilities, because of his autism spectrum. And this cafe employs 63 individuals, 80% of whom have disabilities, providing this meaningful work in a sense of purpose. So I just want to show you some videos from this cafe so we can take a look at how it actually works. You can find some videos, and I believe it's really a great story, even if this cafe is far away from me, is far away from us. But just thanks to this successful story, we are able to see more cafes like that. And this year there was another cafe in Tokyo, which also helps disabled people to find their jobs. But this is, I would say, even another step forward. This is a Japanese cafe that uses robots controlled by paralyzed people, because often, we think that, well, if a person is paralyzed, it's quite hard to find a job. And I personally believe that at the end of the day, we all need to feel that our lives are meaningful. And not everyone might support me, but I strongly believe after years of work in non-profit organizations and humanitarian work, it's much more important to give people the sense of that they're valued instead of just giving them money. And it's way more effective instead of just giving people because of the unfairness and injustice. And it it helps them, and it just helps everyone. So it's a very innovative and progressive idea to see this cafe robots, and to see that it's not only in one country, but it's kind of spreading around the world, and there are various approaches. So waiters, as you could see, robots, they were remotely operated by individuals with disabilities. It's an innovative setup. And there are always good and bad things about any news, about any story. And some people might say, oh, this is what brings coverage, because I want to talk about this cafe, I want to write about it. And if someone decides to open this kind of cafe because next day a blogger would decide to talk about it, I mean, it's great. And more cafes, more things like that we have, better it is for the world, and for people to see that even if you're a disabled, uh, and it can happen, car accidents, anything can happen in our lives. But once you have uh, a job you love, once you are able to do something, and it's absolutely um, amazing and inspirational. Julie, thanks for your comments. And meanwhile, while I keep presenting you some great stories from this year, please feel free to share good things that happened to you, good things that happened in your city, in your country, because let's collect all of these amazing stories in this chat or in the comments if you're watching the recording. So another a new treatment for uh, schizophrenia. It was approved this year in 2024. Yeah, it's still this year. I'm recording it in 2024. It's a live stream, so this video may not be as polished as my previous ones. So I haven't done virtual tours in a year, but it has this pure sense. I don't know. So, what is so special about it? It became the first new approved drug for schizophrenia in decades. Um, and it's amazing. And I think that all of the investments, all of the money people spend on Gucci bags, on, I don't know, a lot of things like wars, this is just, again, at the end of the day, we all want to be appreciated and we want to live longer. And once there's new medicine and new condition that helps people to have a better life, it's amazing. And the other thing I want to ask you for this chat, for the comments, have you ever heard of these achievements? Have you ever heard of these stories? Because it also shows our focus, the world that we live in. And I believe that there are many horrible things that happened this year that most of us know about, but with this tour, I also want to show you how we can change our mindset, our agenda, so we would all have a better lives next year. So this is one of my goals for myself as well, because it's not that easy to keep focusing on the bright side while uh, like some really, really horrible things keep happening around you. The next one is the fight against malaria takes a leap forward. Um, so in there are still countries where this disease has been plagued for centuries, and every year thousands of people were dying. The numbers of casualties were really high, up to 1 million in countries like Cameroon, Central African Republic. So this year was another great and big achievement because Cameroon became the first country to implement routine vaccinations against malaria. The same goes for Central African Republic with the highly effective R21 vaccine. Uh, the Another remarkable achievement for Egypt officially declared itself malaria free after a century long battle. We don't hear about it, and it seems, I think, a lot of things in this life we might take for granted because we're not surrounded by it. We're not surrounded by uh, things like not having access to YouTube. But in countries like Russia, Iran, China, people don't even have access to YouTube, where you can watch any video you want, anytime you want. So a lot of these things are about appreciating our lives, appreciating that we don't need robots to just get things. We don't have disabilities, and it's easier, of course, to keep complaining about things that we don't have. But in general, there's really, really a lot, and I think a lot of us who are able, at least able to watch this video, and myself able to record it, no matter where you are, we are in many ways are privileged, and we are privileged that we are still here, still alive. So happy new year, merry Christmas, and please keep sharing your thoughts about positive and great things that happened this year in the chat. I was happy to learn about the advancements in the fight against malaria. Thank you very much, Fran. The next one, restoring hearing through gene therapy. It's quite difficult, again, imagine your life with disabilities, but of course there are people, and again, like when someone keeps complaining to me about I don't know, unfairness, that he's poor and rich people are rich, but again, there are people who are not able to see this world, who are not able to hear this great music, not able to hear anything. And I don't know, it might sound superficial now, but there are moments in life when you start appreciating even these little things. So it is another great achievement that new study showed that uh, it is possible for deaf people to regain their hearing through gene therapy. Mass Eye and Ear Institute University in Boston, researchers from Mass Eye and Ear University restored version gene to enable transmission of sound signals. And it actually sounds like a miracle. And there are already 5 children that were born deaf due to the genetic mutations, and now they can hear this world. And I think it's just amazing and impressive. And now it's only 5 children. But again, it doesn't seem big, but once it becomes millions, many people just think, oh yeah, it's kind of normal, it should be this way. We just have to get this treatment. We don't really notice these good things because we are actually used to it, and it actually shows that there are a lot more good things happening around us. It's just on how we decide to focus. The joy of someone's hearing, the love or a birth. Thank you, Anna. Thank you. Absolutely agree with you. And this is something that helps me to appreciate the world. Another revolutionary thing that happened this year is new fertility technology. So in Peru, new country in this list, which is also special, the first baby was conceived using the fertile reproductive technology. And this innovative method develops eggs outside of the mother's body, reducing hormone injections by 80% and shortening the procedure just to 3 days. So it's another great treatment that can help more families, billions of families worldwide. And at the end of this stream, let me know which thing was your favorite. The next thing I would like to say about humanitarian aid. Well, I'm still streaming from Russia, so this is the reason why I didn't have a Ukrainian flag, but I think it is a big achievement to see the world support for Ukraine, that 70 billion dollars in humanitarian aid were invested to rebuild schools, hospitals, providing essential supplies, and they are able to resist the again, I'm just trying to find the right words. But in any case, it's definitely thanks to the global support. And I've seen it myself this year when I went to countries like Lithuania, and I'm still planning on doing a video about it. It is amazing to see countries like Moldova, with a population of 2.5 million people, that welcomed 1 million Ukrainian refugees. So there are a lot of heroes around us that we genuinely don't notice, and we don't see how much people sacrifice to help others. So it definitely gives us hope. And again, I it's horrible that there's not only one word, but there's several words happening in 2024. But if we look back, I believe that in terms of humanitarian aid, in terms of the numbers of everything, it's way worse than it was 100 years ago. So step by step, we can get closer to the world of kindness if we all choose to go this way. Let's go to the next thing. Notre Dame restored. It was an interesting day because it was just recently. There were events in Syria, in Ukraine, in Israel, and some TV channels, some newspapers decided to focus on Rotterdam, especially in France. And it seemed cynical, to be honest, at that moment. And I still think it is but at the same time, it's it is a great thing to see, and it's a big thing to see the restoration of historical landmarks. Um, all right. The next one, educational access in India. In general, I would say that there are more and more people who have access to the education. And I think it's one of the essential things for all of us, because thanks to the internet, thanks to YouTube and other great platforms like Coursera, it doesn't matter where you live, it doesn't matter how rich you are. If you want to learn, you have access to it. Thanks to ChatGPT, thanks to technology. Even if your country blocks everything, there are still more and more ways to learn a new language, to learn a new thing. And uh, it is great, and it kind of and everything develops like really really fast. And again, I hear a lot more stories about the negative side of technology, about fears, and of course we should take it into consideration. But let me know about your experience with YouTube, ChatGPT, how great was the experience, because it is one of the things that makes one of the things that make our lives easier. So let's go back to the education access in India. So the European Digital Education Hub launched the new accelerator, selecting 8 innovative projects aimed at in chasing digital transformation and education. So there are new methods that are used all around the world. India this year received free bicycles, and again, it sounds like a must for people from some developed countries, but it is a big step forward, seeing that there are countries like India that were able to double school attendance among girls. And it all makes a profound impact on educational accessibility. And if we think of how many women, how many girls had access to education even 100 years ago, it is certainly shows that we live today, we live in the better world. And one of the last things I want to talk about is the poverty reduction and in Indonesia. The rate fell to record low of 9.5%, marking significant progress in the world's fourth most populous country with 277 million people. And yeah, we've already mentioned humanitarian aid, new innovative solutions for refugees this year. So there are tech companies that provide solar powered shelters to over 500,000 refugees worldwide. A lot of people were saved, and even if it's just one person, even if it's just one story, it still gives us hope in humanity. That's what I think. It would be quite difficult for me to do this tour about good things in Russia would be kind of hypocritical. And some of you know that the death of the opposition leader Alexei Navalny was really, really heartbreaking for me, and I'm still working on a new tour, a virtual tour, about it, about his life. So please sign up to this video if you're interested to sign up to this channel. And it's quite difficult actually to see good signs, positive signs, also with the life extensions, with everything that you see, with seeing that there are many public figures in Russia who openly support Ukraine, but who are still hugely criticize Ukraine no matter how much money they invest. And this is the world that we live in, and this is the world that we will keep living. As being a Russian person, a Russian citizen, will uh, have a stigma for decades, and we don't know for how long. At the same time, uh, I personally, and a lot of people might disagree with me, that you know, your nationality doesn't matter. It's much more important who you are and your values. And for me, it's kind of crazy that in 2024 or almost 2025, there are still people believing that your passport kind of shows if you're a good person or not. Uh, so I want to show you that this year was kind of a step forward for Russians to participate in movies, because I think it is still something unbelievable to see that one of the biggest movies in Cannes, Anora, had two major actors from Russia. And if you haven't watched it, I highly recommend. It's just an amazing movie. And what I like about it from the Russian side, and I think it's a good, positive thing, that it wasn't like a typical portray of Russian mafia, these bad guys. They're not bad and good. They were just quite authentic to what I generally see. And I want to show you, these are young boys. I may not know much about their lives, their views, and everything, but they're not, you know, supporters or openly big supporters of wars and everything. They're just actors, and they're good actors. And the guy on the right, Yuri Borisov, he seems to be, you know, a very kind and open-minded person. So I know it is a sensitive topic, and I know it's quite difficult for a lot of people around the world to accept that they will be Russian in other movies, or somewhere they would be represented. And uh, well, it's just, again, it's how it is. Even if the story is about Russians, they will hire actors from other countries. This is what keeps happening. But I hope one day people again would be appreciated for their talents, for who they are personally, because we can't be again responsible for where we were born. And another good thing, yeah, which is not that major, but again, for Russia, on the left side, it's a Vogue cover from Portugal. It was a big fan for Russians in fashion. And on the right side is Vogue cover, Vogue Arabia, just to compare. So how it can be when it's, you know, about talent, and when the guys who are behind this cover, Russian stylist, Russian photographer, Russian model, they are quite talented, and they're a great team. So it is a big thing. It's huge for them to get this chance to be represented. And again, um, I don't think that people who support horrible things, who are represented should be represented, should be justified for the actions, even though, uh, you know, it is still a sensitive topic, and there might be many things, people who disagree with me. So there are a lot more things, great things that happened this year. And at the end, I want to tell you the story of Love Knows No Age. Uh, John and Phyllis Cook, aged 102 and 100 respectively, tied the knot this year after meeting at a senior living facility in Ohio. This is just an amazing and inspirational story that loves knows no age, and it gives us hope that even if we are lonely now, at any age, even if we're, you're 70, 80, you still can get married at 100 or 120. Who knows? So I hope this tour, it was my new idea to do it, and I actually wanted to kind of change my channel to focus on positive things, but still it is kind of sensitive, because I still expect people coming and saying you're Russian and you have to talk about this and that. Okay. um but yeah, it's just amazing to notice good things in your life, good things during the day. And I'll tell you honestly, uh life can be really tough sometimes, and often it's hard to believe in humanity and good and positive things. So when I just feel absolutely terrible, at the end of the day, I see it and I list all the good things that happened to me, and I do it like day by day, and I notice that just life gets better. So please try it, whether you believe in it or not. And let me know in the comments if it actually works. Let's try to notice more achievements, more great things. So at least that's what I'll try next year myself, to get more achievements, to be more productive, to focus on science and humanity. Thank you very much for joining me. Let me see your comments. If you have any questions, well, again, I hope you enjoyed this new format. There are many educational opportunities for girls around the world. That is something to celebrate, if only was reality girls for women in Afghanistan. Friend, thank you very much for your comments. I absolutely agree with you. There are stories there. I think it's also Yemen. There's some places that are absolutely heartbreaking. And again, they're just completely different problems in the world that we live in. But again, if we compare what was just, I don't know, like 30, 40 years ago, it still gives us hope. And this tour, it's New Year tour, but I do believe that we will see the progress and we will notice it. So, Marty, Ronilyn, Julie, hope I didn't miss Annette, didn't miss anyone. So, thank you very much for your support. If you want to support this channel, you want to make a contribution, you have a QR code to buy me a coffee. You have links in the comments and the tour description everywhere. So I will be more than happy, and I will be more than happy to see you on my upcoming tours. So this year, I've already scheduled Dostoevsky tours, and I'll probably do more during holidays. We have national holidays. So thank you very much, friend. So I hope this tour, this stream will become a platform for everyone who wants to cheer up and to write about good and positive things that happen, even if it was just your story, even if you were able to learn a new language. Feel free to share it, and let's all be happy for each other. Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, and see you next year with Fyodor Dostoevsky. Goodbye.